Boldwood presents Breaking His Rules, written by V.H. Nicolson, and read by Audra North and William McLeod. Chapter 1. Max. "Have you heard from Miss Bradshaw yet?" I asked Tate from across the table if his lawyer has been in touch with him this morning, doing my best to keep the annoyance out of my clipped words. It's almost impossible. "Nothing." He dips his chin and sways his head, having checked his phone for the 20th time. "Can you two be civil to one another for a few minutes?" My eyes volley between Tate and his soon-to-be ex-wife, my client, Stella. "I have zero plans on talking to my husband," Stella replies coolly, making Tate scoff. "If I had known divorce was the only way to shut her up, I would have filed for one a long time ago," he mutters under his breath. "Enough," I pointed him. "She's the mother of your children. Have some manners, Mr. Young. Screw marriage, and to hell with the kind that ends in divorce. It's ruthless. How two people can go from loving each other deeply to being unable to sit in the same room is brutal and honestly baffling. The way love can rot into hate is something I'll never fully understand. That's why I am never getting married. Fuck to the no." "Excuse me." I push my chair back, remove myself from around the boardroom table, and fake a smile. "Let me check if my secretary has heard from Miss Bradshaw," I say, desperate to get away from them. I can think of a million better ways to spend my morning than with a couple who can't even look each other in the eye. The air is so thick with acrimonious hostility, you could cut it with a knife. Why I decided to become a divorce lawyer is anyone's guess. Yet here I am, in the thick of another messy divorce. But truthfully, I love my job. It reminds me of all the reasons I will never get married. I whip open the boardroom door and storm down the corridor in the direction of my office. "Find out where she is," I instruct Louise, my secretary, as I round the corner and point at the phone. "Get her on the line now and put her through." Rage burns through my veins as I move into my office, slam the door, and wait for the phone to ring. Who the fuck does Paige Bradshaw think she is, keeping me and my client waiting again? Hell, she's even keeping her own client waiting. I have back-to-back settlement conferences all day. I don't have time for tardiness, and I'll be lucky if I even have the time to take a piss between meetings. Resting my hands on the desk, I drum my fingers against it and pin my eyes to my phone as it sits idle, staring at it as if summoning it to ring. Inhaling a deep breath, I prepare myself for the conversation with Paige, the woman who gets under my skin more often than I care to admit. A divorce lawyer, like me, she turns heads without trying too hard, and she's so strikingly sophisticated that I often find myself forgetting what I was saying mid-sentence. In meetings, she's sharp as a razor, and I hate that she's always one, if not 3, steps ahead of me. Is she ever on time, though? Nope. Recently, she has been working in her own time zone and makes me wait for her every single time. This is the 4th time she's been late in the last few months. Now I think she's doing it on purpose. Although when she eventually does show up, she's always apologetic, but seems frustrated with herself and everything around her. Her most annoying trait is that she seems to see right through me. She's immune to my charm, which my ego hates, and I know she tolerates me solely to put on a show in front of our clients. We've handled many divorce cases where we've represented opposing spouses, so I'm familiar with Paige and how she operates. I'm not sure if anyone else has ever noticed how often she paints on a smile, but I always do. It gives her away every time. It's subtle, and you've got to be quicker than divorce papers getting filed to catch it. But I've seen it enough times to recognize the difference between polite and performative. She may look like a fucking goddess, but she's so detached and emotionally shut off, I'm sure she eats the hearts of small children for supper. Finally, the red light on my phone blinks, followed by the ring that fills the room. Maybe it's just my imagination, but it sounds agitated, like me. I lift the handset to answer, and before I have a chance to talk, Louise informs me that she has Paige on the line and puts her through. "Max, Paige blurts out, but I don't let her finish. "Late," I state firmly, walking over to the window. "You are half an hour late." Even that's a lot for her. The faint click-clack of heels, mixed with car horns and the sound of traffic, drifts down the earpiece. Out of breath, she says, "I got held up. My secretary was supposed to call you. Move out of the way, asshole!" She chastises someone. A mental photo of her frantically weaving her way through morning commuters comes into my mind, and I secretly love the fact that she's already having a shitty day. She's messing with mine, and it's not even 9 o'clock yet. Serves her right. "Well, she didn't call," I inform her, looking at the San Francisco skyscrapers out of my office window. "Someone's getting fired today," she states matter-of-factly, as if that won't mess up her entire week. "You fired one last month, too." How many has she had? "Can people not just do their job?" she asks, now panting. I could ask you the same thing. You had one job to do at 8:30 this morning. Please, let me explain." I pull off my tie, which I hate wearing, before cutting her off. "Have your secretary call mine to reschedule. Again," I add to make my point. "And if mornings are too difficult for you, because you seem to have an issue with getting your ass out of the door on time, then maybe you should schedule an afternoon meeting instead." My tone is thick with sarcasm. Then I follow up with, "Tate is going to fire you if you keep this up." "He won't. He's already paid up front, and let's face it, who else would take him on?" Of course he did. He throws money around like confetti to get what he wants. His cutthroat reputation in the investment banking world is notorious. She adds more reasons why she's representing him. "Also, I didn't have a choice. I was told to take him on." That's because her firm knows Paige is the only lawyer who could handle him. Smart move. "Did you hear about the uncompromising position he found himself in at work?" I ask, curiosity zipping up my spine. He's been screwing practically every single woman in the city behind his wife's back. I hope Paige isn't another one to fall victim to his actions. I know Tate, so I wouldn't put it past him to pursue her, but I think Paige has more self-respect. And not that I've been keeping tabs on her or anything. Well, maybe I have. But what I do know about her is that she generally keeps to herself. She rarely attends lawyer lunches or networking events that we get invited to. I also know she's single. Something Louise told me, because every secretary from every law firm across the city seems to know everyone and everything. If Paige is still single, I guess it's because she's too busy keeping her broomstick warm. "Personal feelings aside, I'm just doing my job, Max." "He's a handsome motherfucker. I'm surprised you don't find him attractive. Maybe after the case, you know. I thought you two..." She barges in with, "Hell no!" Her voice rises by 3 octaves, informing me that I've rattled her cage. "I have standards, Max. You're a fucking asshole," she fires back. Just checking. This might be the most fun I've had with her. I know it is because Paige Bradshaw doesn't know the meaning of the word. This is also the first time I've heard her swear. Usually a vision of calm. Right now, she sounds anything but. A disgusted noise down the microphone informs me that I've riled her. Well, for the record, Max, it's a flat-out no. I would never go near him, not even if I were desperate. He's a client, not that it matters to you. Knowing you, you're probably fucking Stella already. Poor woman. You should inform her that she needs to take herself to the walk-in clinic. She'll need a full range of tests if she's been with you. She spits venom into the earpiece, even more breathless than she was before. Chuckling at her saltiness, I reply, I've never slept with a client. I suddenly don't feel annoyed anymore. I'm quite enjoying screwing with Paige. And careful, you sound jealous. I'd rather slay a dragon than sleep with you. I burst out laughing. Well, that would be easy for you, given you're a witch and could easily find one of those. A gasp is followed by her question. A witch? Sorry, I meant bitch. Fuck you, Max. You wish. Never. She makes a gagging sound down the earpiece. If contracting an STD was on my bucket list, maybe. I fight to suppress my amusement, but then find myself imagining what hate sex with Paige might be like. She's all curves, with an ass to fucking die for, legs longer than the Golden Gate Bridge, long blonde hair she wears in a severe bun, and a snark level that could cut glass. She's sharp, unapologetic, and somehow still manages to dress like she has just stepped off a Vogue cover. That smart mouth of hers is fucking begging to be stuffed with my cock to shut it up. Hell yeah. I could get on board with that. My cock jumps in my boxers in agreement. Fuck. That's never happened before. Ice queens aren't my thing. That is, until now. And hate sex. I think I just unlocked a new kink of mine. I'm outside your office, she drawls. On high alert, I push my shoulders back, stand up straighter, then look behind me. She adds, I'll be up in 2 minutes. And with that, she ends the call. Fuck. We only have 25 minutes to discuss alimony. I needed an hour for that. Fucking Paige Bradshaw. Equal parts exhausting and entertaining. She's a beautiful fucking wildfire. The kind that can burn everything to the ground. And when she's gone, I'm left sifting through the ashes, replaying every spark she lit and every hard-fought argument she won.
Chapter 2. Paige. It's so good of you to join us, Max says dryly as I enter the room, feeling like I need another shower. My whole morning has thrown me for a loop. Max states the obvious. Let's be quick. I have another meeting to attend. Then he jabs the knife in. And my client will not be billed for my time today. Instead, I will be charging you directly, Ms. Bradshaw. He adds casually, before I've even had the chance to sit down. I already hate this stupid day. Consider it paid. Screw you, Max Hart. I pull out a chair around the boardroom table, take a seat, remove the case file from my work bag, and open it flat on the table. I'm sorry I'm late. My eyes shift between Tate, my client, and Stella, his wife. Well, soon-to-be ex-wife. I feel sorry for her. Life with Tate must have been dreadful. Why she went on to procreate 4 times over with the cretin, I will never understand. I apologize further. It won't happen again. And, as per my conversation with Mr. Hart, we will schedule any further meetings for the afternoon. It'll be easier for me that way. Since Alfie, who is now 1 year old, arrived, My mornings have been total chaos. I honestly can't remember the last time I managed to leave the house on time. It took 2 outfit changes and Emma, my nanny, arriving late because she got stuck in traffic before I finally headed out the door, only to realize I had forgotten my laptop and had to turn the car around to get it. Then, to make things worse, I got stuck in the worst traffic imaginable. What a day this is turning into. As long as afternoons suit my client, then we'd be happy to accommodate. Max replies, a faint smirk shaping his lips. Max Hart can fuck off. The last thing I need is his stupidity this morning. I prepared these in advance to save time. I lift the proposal out of the case file that I agreed on with Tate yesterday and slide 2 copies across the table, one for Stella and one for Max. I fake a smile. I'm nothing but efficient, and Max knows it. As you'll see from your alimony proposal, Mrs. Young will receive indefinite support given the 18-year duration of the marriage. I then proceed to list how the property they own will be divided. We propose discussing child visitation further at the next settlement conference. Stella and Max study the proposal before Max lifts his eyes to me, one brow rising as if impressed that I made Tate agree to it all. On first glance, this seems satisfactory, but I will need to go over this with my client in private, he states. I nod my head in acknowledgement, feeling smug. I know they'll accept. It's the least Tate can do for his wife, considering that he cheated on her throughout their marriage. If she ever trusts another man enough to remarry, it will be nothing short of a miracle. Trust. It's such a small word, and yet it's heavily weighted with promises. Max Hart is another one not to be trusted. He's San Francisco's most eligible bachelor. According to the office grapevine, he's like a grasshopper, jumping from one bed to another. I don't know how true that is, and I shouldn't make assumptions, but there you go. I have, based on the rumors. He told me once that he would never settle down during one of our many heated arguments, something to do with me being too argumentative, and reminded him of why he was single, or something equally predictable. I mean, apart from him being a complete pain in the ass, the guy has everything going for him. Naturally attractive, moves in high-status circles, has an adventurous lifestyle. But he's also emotionally unavailable. Having worked in this job for a long time, he becomes cynical about love. And if he's anything like me, he probably doesn't believe in lasting love either. It inevitably ends in disappointment and messy breakups. So, yeah, when it comes to Max Hart, I understand why women get hooked on the chase. He's a guarded Lothario with an air of mystery around him. Devastatingly handsome, though. And I see the appeal. Sometimes Max makes me forget what I was about to say because I get too distracted by the way his sculpted muscles flex under his crisp white shirts. He rarely wears a tie and always leaves just enough buttons undone to push the boundaries of PG. What can I say? I'm a sucker for a hairy chest. Don't judge. His skin is sun-kissed all year, making him look healthy and wholesome, and his wavy hair, longer on top and sitting just above his shirt collar, only enhances his chiseled jaw and makes it look even more defined. He's a distraction I don't need, one I don't want. Never. But it's hard not to look at him when he looks the way he does, godlike and one of the most handsome men I have ever set my eyes on. Not that I'd ever go near him. Venereal diseases aren't my thing. Also, he'd never look twice at me. Not only does he represent pop stars, movie stars, and models looking to untie the knot, he dates them, too. I know this because he's practically a fixture in the gossip columns, always snapped on the arm of whatever celebrity is trending that week. Somehow, his divorce settlements always come with a happily ever after, not always for the couples involved. There I go again with my assumptions, but if he's photographed with them, it must be true, right? The last I heard, Max was dating the fire chief's daughter, although she's not just the fire chief's daughter. She's an influencer with over 5 million followers on Instagram. Beautiful, influential, and a celebrity in her own right. She's exactly his type. High profile, high drama, and sufficiently high status enough, sitting above everyone else to make him feel like he's winning. "Thank you for this. Your proposal seems reasonable enough," Stella says, breaking me from my stupid thoughts about Max. She fumbles with the paperwork and shuffles in her seat, looking everywhere but at her husband. "Are we done?" I ask, my gaze moving between Max and Stella. "For now." Max stretches his neck, the thick veins running down his skin that disappear inside the collar of his shirt don't get overlooked by my obsessed eyes. He even has a nice neck. How is that possible? And I'm ashamed to admit that this isn't the first time I've noticed that. It's thick from working out at the gym, hard-earned. We lock eyes for a second, and that roguish smirk returns when he catches me staring, highlighting his perfect Cupid bow and causing his dimples to make an appearance. God, what is wrong with me today? I really need to get laid. It's been far too long, years. I turn my attention away from my nemesis, ignoring the weird feeling I don't understand in my stomach, and check the time on the large clock on the wall, then point to it. And we still have time to spare. I'm a little pissed at that. Today wasn't enough time to fulfill my perv quota staring at Max Hart, but it will have to do. "Thank you," he replies. His pleasantries don't surprise me. Around everyone else, he's polite and professional, but when it's just the two of us, we verbally spar, which I both enjoy and hate equally. I push myself to my feet at the same time Max does and extend my hand for him to shake. Again, I'm sorry for being late. It won't happen again. Max takes my hand and then turns to Stella and Tate, asking, "Could you two give us a minute?" "Of course," they both reply at the same time. Stella and Tate awkwardly leave the room, avoiding eye contact. Hell, they're even trying to avoid the air they breathe. Not that Tate cares, but I see the hurt in Stella's eyes. She's in pain and hates every minute of this. Divorce is a lot like grief. Unless you're completely blind or oblivious like Tate, it's obvious she's grieving for a family life she's losing, vacationing separately, Christmas times apart. Then there are the friends and family who have to choose sides. It's exhausting for everyone, and we shouldn't forget the guilt of not being able to make it work. Max mutters under his breath just as they close the door behind them. "I hope she doesn't kill him out there." "I wouldn't blame her if she did," I reply, acutely aware that Max's hand is still in mine. I instantly release it like it's scalding my skin and apologize, feeling slightly awkward, before sitting down. "Do you want to change the time of the next settlement conference?" I ask, opening the calendar on my phone that runs every minute of my life. He sharply bites back. "No. I want to know why you didn't give me a heads up on your alimony proposal. If you already had it, you could have easily sent that by email yesterday." I slide my gaze away from my cell phone to look at him and say, "In-person conferences are my preference. I prefer seeing him every week to simply torture myself." And, off the record, I drop my voice to a whisper, I want Tate to see how much this is hurting Stella. Have you seen how much weight she's lost? But don't worry, she will be well taken care of, as will their children." "Did your heart suddenly start caring?" Max taunts, his smirk making a reappearance. Ignoring him, I counter with, "Those kids deserve stability, and that is something only Stella can give them. I'm a divorce lawyer, Max. I'm not dead inside. You know how compassionate I am." I don't tell Max, but Tate knows he's the one in the wrong, and I've prepared him for the consequences. Give Stella what she wants and needs, and he'll still walk away with his penthouse, along with several of his sports cars. That's all he needs. It's all he asked for. Oh, and his yacht. He wants to keep his baby. Heartless bastard. I watch Max as he eyes me suspiciously. My conscience wins every time. That's what makes me a great lawyer. I'm fair to everyone involved, and Max knows it. Confidently, he sits straighter, squaring his shoulders. "My client and I appreciate your cooperation." "You are welcome. Now." I close the file laid out in front of me, then lift my bag off the floor and stuff it inside. "About the next meeting?" "I'll have Louise contact your secretary," he replies, then adds, acting like he's a fucking comedian, "That's if you still have one." One more job to do. I sigh, suddenly dreading the thought of hiring a new one. I'm surprised when Max offers, "I could find someone for you. Or why don't you ask Joseph at reception?" he adds. "He knows everyone, and everyone knows him." "I can find someone myself. It's fine," I snap. He holds his hands up in mock surrender. "I was only trying to help." "I don't need your help." My voice is sharper than I intended. I've been doing just fine on my own for years. Although, if he'd offered me his assistance 6 months ago in helping me find a nanny, I would have welcomed it with open arms, because that was the toughest decision of my life. Hiring a nanny was not something I thought would be on my to-do list this year, and it was the ultimate curveball, one I wasn't prepared for. Max raises an eyebrow, amused. "Wow. You need to work on accepting kindness without drawing blood." I bite back. "And you need to work on minding your own business." "That's my cue to get the hell out of here," he says as he scoots his seat back, grabbing his paperwork and laptop from the table. "Have a great fucking day, Ms. Bradshaw, and maybe sometime today you can find a way to loosen up. You make a mannequin look relaxed." Well, at least I have things going on in my life to be stressed about. If only he knew why I'm constantly wound tighter than a rusty bolt on a boat. Clueless idiot. I guess the only thing you need to worry about is who is going to keep your bed warm tonight. I'm sure he has more names in his little black book than anyone I know. At 40 years old, he's still chasing tail and causing women's panties to disintegrate with just one look. The girls at my firm get themselves in a tizzy when Max is scheduled for meetings with me or fellow colleagues, appearing in their conversations more often than I'm happy with. The blabbermouths speculate a lot. The hot topic always comes back to one thing. They assume that because he has a body to die for, he could go all night. Yeesh. Although, being fucked by a man, specifically Max, who knows what he's doing, is something I know I would enjoy but have never had the pleasure, or displeasure, of experiencing. But since Alfie entered my life, the dating game has sailed away from me, leaving me stranded on my own little island, waving it goodbye. It's long gone and has disappeared beyond the horizon. Being single sucks, but hey, Alfie is the only thing that's important to my life right now. He's my priority, and I love him in a way I can't even begin to describe. That brown-eyed dumpling in a diaper has stolen my heart, and I pray to the powers that be that they don't break it. Shaking myself out of my side thoughts, I glare back at the man who is shooting me death stares. He sneers. "Well, at least one of us will be warm tonight. Scorching hot, actually. Unlike yourself. Fuck." He shivers, shaking his shoulders in exaggeration. "Whoever shares your bed must get frostbite. You're like a glacier with a fucking heartbeat, although I'm not even sure if you have a heart." My fists clench so tight, they whiten at the knuckles around the handle of my work bag. Blood surges like wildfire through my veins, threatening to wipe out everything in its path as I fire back. "And anyone who sleeps with you must be brainless, or they lost a bet." Knowing he's pushed all of my buttons this morning, a grin shapes his lips, and with that, he walks out of the boardroom with an air of smugness I hate, without saying goodbye. I close my eyes and take a deep breath. During kickboxing classes at lunch, I'll pretend it's his face instead of the punching bag I'm pounding. That'll make me feel so much better. Sweeping my bag off the table, I head out the door, relieved that I don't have to see Max for a few more weeks. It's a pity, but also a blessing. If he just kept his mouth shut, he'd be the perfect man. I walk into the reception area on the top floor of Hart Law and greet Tate with a bright smile. "Tate," I say, distracting him from his cell phone, "let's grab a quick coffee to discuss what comes next." It's probably the same thing Max is doing with Stella in his office right now. Or fucking her on his desk. The latter is more than possible, although he did tell me earlier that he's never slept with a client. And for once, I believe him. "Great!" His whole face lights up, as if I just suggested we go out on a date, something he asked me when I agreed to represent him. To clarify, I say, "It's just coffee. We need to discuss custody of the children." "Pity," he says with a widening grin. Presumptuous idiot. Roll on going home time.
Chapter 3. Max. I'm unplugging my laptop to take home with me so I can work tonight when Cole, my youngest brother, strolls into my office. "Good day?" he asks, making himself comfortable on the sofa opposite my desk. "Started off terrible and went downhill from there. I need to remind Louise to ignore me the next time I suggest a full day of meetings. Now I have case notes and paperwork to finish that will keep me busy for over a week. Do you want to go for dinner, or do you have plans tonight? I had a quick lunch at my desk between meetings, and coffee isn't enough to keep me going, not after the exhausting gym session I did before work this morning." "As free as a bird," Cole replies, looking unhappy about that. "Still not found the one?" I wrap air quotes around my last two words for emphasis. He blows out a long, heavy breath, slackening off the knot in his tie. "Dating in San Francisco is shit." I have no complaints. I slide my laptop into my leather work bag and fasten the metal clip to secure it. "You're not fussy." "And you're too fussy." I wag my finger at him, then point to the cell phone in his hand. "Dating apps suck. You'll never find the love of your life on there." I only know this because after years of using those apps, he's still unhappily and frustratingly single. He has struggled to find love since splitting up with Stephanie 3 years ago. They were college sweethearts, and he still maintains she was the love of his life. If she was the real deal, Stephanie would never have cheated on him with his best friend, breaking his heart and destroying his self-confidence. Poor bastard. Cole places his cell phone face down on the sofa, as if he's annoyed with it, and puts it in a timeout. "Whatever." He runs his hands through his dark hair. Why he's still single is a mystery, since he's a handsome motherfucker. He's younger than me by 8 years, and I notice the way the women in the office ogle him. According to Louise, it's his gray, stormy eyes that they all love for some reason. It gets them hot and bothered beneath their desks. There were plenty of women lining up to date Cole, but none of them feel right, according to him. "Should we ask Eli and Nathan if they want to join us for dinner?" Cole asks. Unable to keep his hands off his cell phone for more than a minute, he picks it up again when he receives yet another notification. Nathan is too loved up to join us. I state the obvious. Since Ariana stormed into my older brother's life like a full-on hurricane, he's become pussy-whipped. I don't blame him. She's beautiful and funny, a complete contrast to the salty old goat that is my brother, and perfect for him. Nathan and Ariana are off to buy furniture for the nursery, I say, confirming his evening plans. With a baby on the way and a wedding only a few months away, my workaholic brother has no choice but to take time off work. He'll never admit it to us, but he's totally into the whole dad and husband-to-be thing. I can see how invested he is in organizing the wedding and how excited he is about being a dad. He practically bought the entire bookshop out of baby books. Surprisingly, I'm happy I'm going to be an uncle. It's something I never thought would happen, considering how my brothers and I have always prioritized work over relationships. Honestly, I never imagined Nathan would be the one to start a family. And as for me, the idea of becoming a dad still feels completely foreign to me. Commitment is a terrifying word. It makes me want to run for the hills. But Nathan has shown me something unexpected. If a grumpy bastard like him can find love, maybe there's hope for Eli and Cole, who might find love again too. "And what about Eli?" Cole asks, referring to our older brother, the one born between the two of us. 4 boys. My mom was a sucker for punishment. "He's out for dinner with the head of the company who is hosting our annual staff team building day this year." Sounds boring. According to Sapphire, it will be an enlightening experience. I draw a rainbow across the sky, just like she did when she came to the office earlier to pick up Eli. "Who's Sapphire?" "She owns the company we hired. She's far out, kooky as fuck with multicolored hair, and the only other way to describe her is bright. I swear she was high as fuck, or maybe she's just a lover of life, something Eli struggles with. The guy is so uptight that his butt cheeks squeak when he walks. I laugh at the ridiculousness of the two of them waiting for the elevator together. Sapphire was in full-on talk mode, not taking a single breath or giving Eli a chance to speak when he usually has an answer for everything. "So it's just the two of us tonight?" Cole asks as he stuffs his phone into the top pocket of his suit jacket. "Looks like it," I reply, wishing Paige could see me now to prove her wrong. See, I don't always have someone warming my bed at night. However, that might change, depending on where Cole and I end up after dinner. I haven't had my dick sucked in so long that I've forgotten what it feels like. Although, since I split up with Juliet, I haven't been interested in anyone. According to Eli, I'm going through a dry spell. More like a drought, but whatever. Cole stands to his full height of 6'5", 2 inches taller than me. The guy has everything going for him. Estate lawyer, dark features and hair, penthouse apartment, sports cars, and more money than he knows what to do with. His single status makes no sense. "Why did your day start off shit?" Cole asks, stretching his arms above his head to unwind his tense muscles from sitting behind a desk all day. 2 words: Paige Bradshaw. I still fucking hate that she prepared an ironclad alimony proposal. If I had to guess, I'd say it seems like she's trying to present Stella in a more favorable light than her client. Yikes, he shudders. That woman makes my balls jump inside my body. I think my balls have yet to come out of hiding, I lie. Usually she has the same effect on me too, but today, well, today was different. My dick got hard thinking about having sex with her. Fuck, what was all that about? I hope that never happens again. I needed that. I wipe the corners of my mouth with the napkin and lay it on top of my empty plate. Me too. Cole pats his stomach, which is covered in tattoos beneath his black shirt. They make the best steaks here, he says, looking around number 33, the steakhouse we regularly dine at. And the new waitress is fucking hot, I point out. Our server has already slipped me her number, which I have no intention of calling. She's a bit too young for me. She's not my type. He scrunches his nose up. I scoff, unable to comprehend him sometimes. What the fuck are you looking for exactly? What is your type then? I push my plate away from me, fold my arms on top of the table, and lean forward. I want more than just looks, Max. I need someone who can connect with me without even speaking. Someone who will support my dreams. And someone who laughs at my shitty jokes even when they aren't funny. Damn, if I had that, I would love them with everything I've got. It's what he had with Stephanie, or so he thought, until she screwed his bestie. I listen closely as he continues sharing words he hasn't admitted before. I want someone who sees me for me, not my job, the money and the cars, or the high-profile cases I work on. I also want someone who looks past my looks and charming personality. He lazily grins at the last two items he mentions, messing with me a little, but I understand what he means. Owning the largest law firm in the city has its challenges. Cole's recent trials have drawn a lot of media attention, but not because of the case itself. It's his looks. He went viral on social media after someone filmed him walking in and out of the courthouse. Now, he's become an American heartthrob, and his DMs are flooded with women eager to date him. But like he said, that's not the type of woman he's looking for. He wants someone that doesn't exist, someone who will fit seamlessly into our work life. Difficult, given how busy we are. When our dad was diagnosed with dementia and Parkinson's, all four of us took over running the firm our father spent a lifetime building. As the older brother, Nathan seemed to think the success of the business weighs solely on his shoulders. That couldn't be further from the truth. We share the burden equally, and we all play our part. As brothers, you would think we would fight all the time. Something we did do when we were younger, but my three brothers are my best friends, and I couldn't do my job or run the firm without them. For a while, when things fell apart with Ariana, it made us doubt each other. After Mom brought us together, she showed us that no matter what, we stick together and support each other through good times and bad, unlike my clients, who can barely make it through a few months of marriage. Cole shifts the spotlight to me. Anyway, what about you? Have you been on any dates recently? He asks. I hate to admit it. No, I reply firmly, pushing my hands through my hair in frustration. I have my plate full with work. I'm juggling too many cases to consider a social life. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. So the fire chief's daughter is off the table? It's not a question. He already knows it is. Something like that. I'm non-committal with my answer. Like all the others, after a few months, she started talking about the future, diamond ring settings, and babies. Nope, never happening. Being a fun uncle will be enough for me. So you ghosted her. That's what you're saying without saying it. He reads between the lines of my response. I've been busy. You ghosted her, he repeats as our server appears to clear our plates, saving me from a roasting from my brother. Thank you, he says, looking up at her. Compliments to the chef. The beautiful brunette's lips shape into a curve, shooting Cole a dazzling smile. I'll be sure to pass that on, sir. Would you like to see the dessert menu? I hold up my hand. Not for me, thanks. I'm good, thank you. Just the bill when you have a minute, Cole says, lifting his cell phone off the table as he receives another notification, making his eyes light up. He ignores our server as she clears the rest of the table and scurries away. What the hell is wrong with him? She's perfect, you know. I throw my thumb over my shoulder. Same age as him, all legs, with beautiful brown eyes. He glances up briefly and examines the back of her. Nah, he shakes his head in disagreement. As he opens something on his phone, his eyes widen before a smirk spreads across his lips as he scans his screen. He turns his cell phone around to show me what has caught his attention. Have you heard of the Velvet Rooms? Yeah. I take his phone from his hand and scroll through the website he's viewing. It's a sex club. My friend Timo, who owns the biggest construction company in California, is a member. An exclusive members-only one. You can't get access to it unless you have an invitation, which I do. Who the fuck sent you this? Libby? My head snaps up. Libby? As in Libby, our law librarian? Yeah. But she's... I trail off, unable to find the words I'm looking for. Cole helps me finish my sentence. A wallflower. That's exactly who she is. Is this what she's into? I ask, my curiosity at an all-time high. She's been trying something different. Like me, she's had enough of using dating apps. We've gone on a few dates together. Well, not exactly together. I mean, we go out with our own dates, but we just coordinate the times and places, then share notes afterwards. She's cool. Cool, right. If this is what she's into, I kind of love the fact that she's a librarian by day who unleashes herself at night. I never would have suspected this is what she's into. But now that he mentions it, at first glance, she ticks every librarian stereotype. Buttoned-up blouses, tailored skirts, hair in a neat bun. But her blouses always cling to her body a little too well. It's clearly not accidental, and the slits in her skirts often verge on the risky side. The deep red lipstick she wears every day is a bit too bold for someone so quiet, too. Behind those tortoiseshell glasses she wears, she's hiding secrets best left unspoken in daylight. She's not just cool, she's a silent siren. She's been on their waiting list for a while, but became a member a month ago. I raise my eyebrows in question. How can she afford that? She's not at the director level yet. She comes from money, old money. She doesn't need to work, but since high school, she has wanted to study law. After college, she got an internship with us, and that's when she decided she didn't want to become a lawyer because she loved being in the library instead. And her position with us gives her independence, something to call her own, and freedom from her controlling father. Cole shifts in his seat, looking uncomfortable. You seem to know a lot about Libby. We talk. I look at him suspiciously. Anyway, moving on. He pulls at the collar of his shirt. She's permitted to invite 3 guests for the special events they host. She invited me. His grin turns devilish, as if he's already imagining himself there. To go with her as her +1 or tag along? I'm a nosy bastard. I want to know everything. Oh, it's not like that between Libby and me. We're just good friends. I question him some more. You sure about that? With firmness in his tone, he replies, Yeah, I swear on Mom's life we aren't like that. Pushing him will only force him to push back. I'm certain there is more to the two of them than just friendship. He just can't see it for himself. Libby would be more than happy to add you as her guest. If I go, will you come? He asks, his face deadly serious. No, I'm quick to answer, and I hand him his cell phone. Oh, come on. They do this dating in the dark night for singles looking for a connection without seeing what the other person looks like. No one will see you. Sounds like fun. He lets out a puff of air. I could seriously use some fun. Fuck the dating game. He tilts his head, examining more of the images on the website as he continues scrolling. Let your senses guide you, with no pressure and zero judgment. Be whoever you want to be in the dark. He reads the description out loud. Awaken your darkest desires. Ignite your curiosity where touch, sound, and scent will help you paint your own picture. Sounds hotter than hell. I'm in. He moves his finger across the screen of his phone, and I can only guess he's RSVPing to Libby, confirming his attendance. I squirm in my seat, uncomfortable with the prospect of going to a sex club with my brother. We're tight, but not that tight. It's a hard pass for me. That's my final answer. Well, I'm going tomorrow night, if you change your mind. I won't change my mind. But I might check that website out again when I'm alone later. Fuck knows why I feel compelled to do so, but I do. It feels like a bit of a rush using touch, sound, and taste without sight. Knowing you can hide your identity while exploring a desire sounds erotic, sensual even. I park those thoughts and leave them there to revisit later. I hope you have fun. I lift my glass of premium aged whiskey with a hint of honey. I finish it, letting the rich oak and syrupy sweetness fill my mouth with complex flavors, providing me with a gentle buzz. Yeah. Whiskey is what I need, not a date in the dark.
Chapter 4. Paige. Come on, gorgeous boy. Time for the Sandman. I snuggle a sleeping Alfie into me one last time. I lay a soft kiss against his thick head of blonde hair that smells like sweet milk and vanilla powder, then gently place him in his crib in his nursery I spent hours decorating. Love you, little man. One day, he'll appreciate how much I love him and the sacrifices I made for him. Just like I do every night since he arrived, I perch myself on the edge of the rocking chair and enjoy the moment, simply watching him, observing his adorable movements as he stretches his arms above his head before opening and closing his pouty little mouth. That adorable little boy with the button nose has changed my world. He turned everything upside down, but now that he's in my life, I can't imagine him not being here. Night-night, I whisper with a smile, quietly moving from the chair to leave the nursery, lifting the baby monitor off the dresser before I exit and close the door, but not fully. Tilting my head left and then right to stretch out the tension, I turn on my new best friend, a baby monitor with a video display, so I can watch Alfie. It's my favorite TV show. What a day. I talk to myself as I head down the hallway, then go down the stairs and summon whatever last bit of energy I have left. I enter the messy kitchen that looks like it's been hit by a Tasmanian devil, grabbing a chilled bottle of water out of the fridge. Long gone are the nights I'd sit around my dining table in my immaculate home, working late into the night with a glass of wine. But now that Alfie is in my life, I prefer to keep a clear head just in case he wakes up in the night. I hook 2 fingers through the strap of my work bag and lift it off the floor, its weight pressing down on my shoulder as I head for the dining table. Fumbling with the baby monitor and my bottle of water, I place them on the table, nearly knocking them over in the process. With a sigh, I unzip my work bag, start pulling out the papers I need, and dust off the dinner crumbs from the seat before sliding into the chair. Yellow light from above pools over a sea of legal briefs. Tomorrow's hearing casts a long shadow, and I can't afford to show up with a foggy head. Not now. Not with my place at Moore and Associates already on thin ice. The partners have noticed the late arrivals and the unexpected absences since Alfie's appearance in my life. While they've been supportive, I've promised many times that it won't happen again. But working long nights and making promises don't mean much when Alfie is ill or the nanny calls in sick again. But this is my reality now. I grit my teeth, push through, and give everything I have, even when it never feels like it's enough. Not for Alfie, not for work, and not for me. My life would be easier if every divorce I negotiated was amicable, because that's exactly what I need right now. Simplicity. Not 2 successful adults who can't even agree on who gets custody of the dog, let alone their own children. Cutting through the silence and the low static hum from the baby monitor, my cell phone chimes, alerting me to an email, as it often does at this time of night. I don't mind answering emails out of regular business hours. It works to my advantage and means I don't have a longer than necessary to-do list before I even have my first coffee in the morning. Let's do this. I get to work, open my laptop, then my emails, and exhale a tired puff of air. Even though I'm exhausted, I know that diving into work now will help me sleep better. If I don't go through my emails and get some reading done, my mind will race the moment my head hits the pillow, and I'll just end up reopening my laptop in the middle of the night anyway. Hours later, I'm pleasantly pleased with myself for zipping through my workload in record time. I'm almost finished when an email drops into my inbox from Max Hart. I checked the time. 11 p.m. What the hell does he want at this hour? Max might be a lot of things, but he's respectful of my time and never sends unnecessary emails or makes demands late at night. I think that's because he knows I won't tolerate any crap from him, or anyone else for that matter. I read the subject line. Alimony Terms Agreement, Tate Young/Stella Young, and hope Stella agreed to the proposal I know will support her for the rest of her life. Clicking the email to open it, I scan my eyes down the screen and give myself a virtual high five. Stella Young agreed to everything. Without hesitation, I hit reply and write back, my inner smugness doing a happy dance. From Paige Bradshaw, Moore and Associates. To Max Hart, Esquire, Hart Law. Subject, Confirmation Alimony Terms Agreement Acceptance, Tate Young/Stella Young. Mr. Hart, thank you for your rapid response. I'm pleased to hear that your client has accepted the proposed alimony terms. I will proceed with drafting the marital settlement agreement and will forward you a draft after the child custody agreement has been agreed upon, which we will discuss at the next settlement conference. Regards, Paige Bradshaw, Esquire, Moore and Associates. I hit send and rest my back against the chair. Now I need to sleep. Just as I'm about to shut my emails down, another one arrives from Max. From Max Hart, Esquire, Hart Law, to Paige Bradshaw, Moore and Associates. Subject, Alimony Terms Agreement, Tate Young/Stella Young. Ms. Bradshaw, you shouldn't be working at this time. Max Hart, Esquire, Hart Law, Hart Law, a professional law corporation. Confusion hits me, and my eyebrows furrow. I don't know why I hit reply and engage with the insufferable prick, but I find myself typing before I can stop. Why not? Regards, Paige Bradshaw, Esquire, Moore and Associates. Once I've pressed send, I regret it. Feeding the self-important jackass will awaken the bitch inside me, and it's too late for this bullshit. I have an early start tomorrow, and I like to get up an hour before Alfie. I drum my fingers on the dining table, waiting impatiently for him to reply. After 5 minutes, nothing arrives. The prick is keeping me waiting, until, ping, here we go. Because you go to bed too late, and it's clearly the reason you've been late for every meeting and court date for the last 6 months. You're beginning to get a reputation for yourself. However, if you go to bed now, you might make it in time for your meetings tomorrow. Get to bed. Max Hart, Esquire, Hart Law. My pulse races as if it has a life of its own. No one tells me what to do. He's really riled me up. My fingers quickly hit reply and tap against the keyboard as I furiously type out a new email and hit send before I overthink it. You know, for someone who is supposed to be a well-connected insider, I'm surprised you don't know what has made me late for the last 6 months. I guess the secretaries don't tell you everything. Regards, Paige. If only he knew I've been struggling to juggle this new life that has been thrust upon me. Having a 6-month-old left on my doorstep was not something I was expecting. But that's where I am. I'm trying to do everything in my power to make it work. However, it looks like I'm not. Even Max Hart has noticed how tardy I have been lately. This is terrible. I need to try harder. But that feels impossible when I am already stressed to the limit. I've reached my maximum level of coping. My eyes survey the still messy kitchen and the laundry pile higher than the laundry washer, and I groan at the chaos of my life. Tomorrow, I'm hiring a housekeeper, as well as finding a new secretary. I had to let go of the temporary one I had today after she failed to inform Max that I was running late. It was the last mistake in a long list of errors she made. From Max Hart. What is that supposed to mean? Faster than a bolt of lightning, I respond. It means if you don't already know, then mind your own goddamn business. Good night, Max. Regards, Paige. I close the lid of my laptop with a thud, cutting off this annoying conversation that's getting too personal. At least now I have the confirmation I needed that all the secretaries I hired in the past haven't revealed the most private part of my life. Alfie. Let's hope it stays that way. Except for the partners at work and my very close friends who know, he's been my little secret for so long, and I've treasured every moment we've shared in our quiet little bubble. The reason I never told anyone about Alfie is because when my sister left him on my doorstep with nothing but a note tucked into his blanket, no bottle or change of clothes, I truly thought it was a joke. Only the punchline never arrived. Since that night, I've lived every day half expecting her to come back and take him away. Not that he's mine to claim, but God, it feels like he is. At the end of this month, I'll have cared for him longer than she ever did. I've been there for all his milestones, his first words, the first time he crawled, the moment he first pushed himself up to stand, and when he grinned at me with those first tiny teeth. It was the kind of joy I'll never forget. These are the memories I'll cherish for the rest of my life. And I'm praying I get to keep creating memories with him. That's why I've already filed the adoption papers, something I couldn't legally do during the first 6 months. But now that we've passed that point, and my sister has left Alfie in my care without offering support or declaring her intention to come back for him, it's clear she intended to abandon him. That gives me a strong case, a very strong one. More than anything, I want Alfie to be safe, and I know I can give him the life my sister never could. My sister, Marin, hides her chaos behind a polished exterior. By night, she works as a dancer in a strip club in Las Vegas, something I only found out about a month ago when she told me in a text. By day, she's locked in a battle with addiction and instability. From the outside, and to everyone around her, she probably looks healthy, composed, maybe even thriving. But it's all smoke and mirrors. I know my sister well. She's a master of manipulation and a high-functioning addict who hides behind a veil of lies. That's why my mom and dad disowned her years ago. The never-ending stream of excuses became too much for them, along with stealing their prescriptions and lying about her expenses. If they had kept track of how many times she said, "It wasn't me," and "You're overreacting," out of her gaslighting mouth, they'd probably be millionaires. I'm sure of it. Since she left Alfie with me, she's been like a ghost, only showing up in the occasional text, just enough to remind me of the wreckage she left behind. She won't be winning Mother of the Year, or Sister of the Year for that matter, and while I may never forgive her for what she did, I've made peace with one thing. I'm stepping in to set things right. Alfie will never want for anything. He'll be loved and have stability. I'll make sure of that. Eventually, everyone will know about Alfie, especially when the adoption is finalized. But for now, I'm enjoying having him all to myself.